Hello guys, this is Linus Lima Yankee 2 Hotel. If you are a new ham, you've just got your license and you bought your first rig ICOM IC-7300, congratulations. I think ICOM IC-7300 really is a good rig as a first rig. It's good not only as a first rig, it's very good and interesting rig for anybody and anyone, any ham, even with the 50 years experience. It's still, there is something to learn about it. But as a first rig, it fits into the price tag, it fits into the quality, and it's not kind of a primitive analog, simple. I don't know why the first rig should be simple, but sometimes people say the first rig should be simple. So, but this is not really simple. It's very modern, the newest technology, software-defined radio, SDR. The next question after you bought a rig and you are pretty happy with it, and you learned everything about the waterfall, about the menus, how it works, and so far and so on, then the next question, what antenna could go together with my ICOM IC-7300? The answer is any antenna will do, depending on your lot, on your environment, on your resources. But most probably the first antenna will not be 40-meter tower with stacked Yagis on top of it. That would be great. And normally for the first antenna I would like just to have something simple like a dipole, easily installable, easily deployable, no hassle and troubles in tuning it and pruning. It could be two sorts of dipole: classical dipole center fed with the coax cable, or end fed dipole with the transformer and the cable. So both are pretty good. Probably end fed, which is in vogue nowadays. Very many people, including myself, using end fed dipoles because it's very convenient. These are multi-band dipoles, and the transformer is pretty easy to make yourself or to buy ready-made. The only problem with the end fed dipole would be that it needs to be located in the way that the end of the wire will be at your shack or not far away from your shack, at the distance of the cable, of course, but still it comes from point A, where your shack is, to point B, whereas the other end of the wire is. In some cases the location does not allow this. There's no simple property to string like 40-meter wire or even 20-meter wire from point A to point B. So then the classical dipole could be a good compromise or a good solution. So the classical dipole is just a dipole fed by coax cable in its center. And dipole, properly installed and properly designed dipole, does not create any RF in the shack phenomena. There is no common mode current when the RF becomes feasible on the transceiver, and creates different interferences for your computer, for instance, and so far and so on. So, but the problem with the classical dipole is that in theory it's a monoband antenna. As the first antenna, usually you want to have it multi-band antenna, because it's very easy. Just you have one antenna, one transceiver, and you work. So there are multi-band dipoles. The less complicated multi-band dipole is trapped dipole. So today I'm gonna make an experiment or introduce you with a W3DZZ trapped dipole. It's in a way an iconic antenna or a legendary antenna. Back in 1955, the radio amateur with the call sign W3DZZ published an article about the trapped dipole, which was designed with a very unique idea. The traps were not just traps, but they were acting as, in one case, they were acting as traps on one bands. On the other bands, the traps were acting like a loading coil or compensation capacitor. The theory was that this antenna might work from 80 to 10 meters with no problems. In theory, yes, especially because in these times, in 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s, most transmitters, especially those who were tube type, they were tuned by the so-called pi network. So it's like one coil and two capacitors. This pi network was included in each and every homemade or manufacturer-made transmitter. So, and you had to tune it anyway with two capacitors in manual way all the time. So with this configuration, W3DZZ worked flawlessly. I had it myself with my tube type transmitter. Later on, when we got the transistor transceivers, transistor power amplifiers, and 50 ohm rule started to rule, then the W3DZZ antenna is still usable, but it does take a tuner in some cases. So today I'm gonna try how the classical W3DZZ antenna with two traps only in it work with the modern nowadays SDR transceiver like ICOM IC-7300, which has a tuner, automatic antenna tuner installed in it. All right, I know the IC-7300's tuner is of narrow range, but still, for the purposes like you only need to tune a little bit when the SWR is no more than 3:1. This tuner might be pretty useful even with the W3DZZ antenna. So this how W3DZZ antenna sounds on 40 meters CW. There's a contest going on at the moment and plenty of stations, and they're all coming in very, very loud and clear. So, and this is my experimental W3DZZ antenna portable. Here it is. And I like the wire winders from SOTA-beams. This section of the wire after the trap, from the end to the trap, takes 6 meters 90 centimeters. So, and here comes the trap. The trap is basically also made by SOTA-beams. It's not a kit, I bought it already tested and adjusted for 7.1 megahertz, so it works as SOTA-beams design it. The major part of the wire, which goes from the trap up to the center of the dipole, is comprised of piece of wire like 9 meters 70 centimeters. The left shoulder goes just symmetrically to the right shoulder. The overall length of the dipole is around 32 meters probably. It's shorter than it would be the full-size dipole for 80 meters. The dipole is supported by the 6-meter SOTA-beams Tactical Mini mast, which I installed onto the roof rack of my radio van. There is a link in the description on my separate video which describes how it was done, how it's installed on the roof rack. The dipole center is formed around the SOTA-beams 1:1 RF choke balloon. The dipole shoulders are connected directly to the balloon's connectors. Taking a closer look into a SOTA-beams 1:1 balance box. Inside we see a nicely wound 1:1 current mode choke balloon. The balloon is made of ferrite core and the mix most probably number 43. The balloon itself is wound on the storage and is comprised of 13 turns all in all, which are wound in a crossover mode. The number of turns is not critical really, but something around 12, 13 turns working good for the bands from 80 to 10, because the whole W3DZZ antenna is designed to work from 80 to 10 meters. ICOM IC-7300 is incredibly versatile transceiver in that it has got an antenna analyzer installed, which is very useful when you need to measure your antenna. No need to buy separate nano VNA or separate antenna analyzer, and assumingly this is your first rig, and the first rig has got installed even antenna analyzer. That's a very good value for this rig. So let's take a look at the house antenna doing on 80 meters first. So we go to menu, we go to SWR, and we see the antenna analyzer, so to say, window opened. First, let's try do the measurement without the antenna tuner. So there's no antenna tuner sign here. It means antenna tuner is switched off at the moment, is bypassed. All you need to do is just to push the PTT. You push the PTT and you see the graph comprised of 5 bars. Could be more bars, could be 7 bars, or could be 8 bars. Let's try 9 bars. So you see more so to say smooth presentation of the SWR, and we see that without the tuner as it is, this W3DZZ dipole is basically on the frequency of interest 3.66, is less than 2. So basically it's usable without the tuner. But ICOM IC-7300 has got its own tuner installed. Even if it's widely recognized this tuner is ineffective, let's see, maybe in this situation the tuner will be pretty good. So we push a tuner and we see that the tuner sign came on the screen. So what we need to do now is to push and hold the tuner button. We push and hold. We see relays clicking, and we see that after relays clicking, the tune sign reappears. It means the tuning was successful. And let's see what's after the tuning. Push it for nose, and now again we push PTT, and we see that the SWR is very nice, less than 1.5 at the range we want. We have evening nets around this frequency, local evening nets on 80, so I'm gonna be pretty happy. LY2 Henrikas, portabilus.
Gerą vakarą, Linai. Priminėjau 5-9, kartais 5-9 plus 5 pakyla signalas priimu.
All right, people hearing me very well around 150 kilometers. All right, guys, so that's a local network on 80 meters. Lots of local stations, and they all hear me pretty well. All give me 5.9 plus 5 plus 10, and I'm running just low-hanging W3DZZ and 95 watts output from ICOM IC-7300. So it means it's okay. This antenna is good. So now pushing PTT. And so we see that without the tuner on 40 meters, this antenna is tuned really to the CW portion, CW range. That's what I wanted basically. It's very good. It's okay. Let's see. How about the tuner? Will tuner fine tune it onto the SSB range? Yeah, it's tuned. And we see that, you know, the tuner tuned very nicely, less than the 1.5 on this frequency, which was chosen at the center frequency 7.118, 30 meter band. But let's try. No, the tuner does not work on this frequency and on this band. And the SWR, as we see, it's pretty high, more than 3. So 20 meter band. All right, we see that it's more than 3. SWR is pretty high. Okay, let's see if the tuner will help. No, the tuner doesn't work. Yeah, of course. Obviously, the SWR is more than 3, and I can bet the tuner will not work either. No, the tuner doesn't work. So 17 meters, not for this antenna. Alright, let's go for 15 meter band without the tuner and see what we have. We have pretty nice, even without the tuner, on 15 meters we have SWR less than 2 to 1. So less than 2, it means it's workable, and it's no surprise. Any 40 meter antenna is supposed to work on its third harmonic, which is 21 megacycle, which is 15 meters. So, but that's fine. And if we put the tuner into the line and see what happens, it's okay. The tuner worked. And let's see now. Now we have 1 to 1, a perfect match on 15 meter band. No, it doesn't work, of course. On 12 meters, tuner doesn't work. That's what could be expected. And then 28, 10 meter band. Let's see the SWR. Yeah, very high, too high. Let's ask the tuner. No, the tuner doesn't work. So now we know that the internal tuner of ICOM IC-7300 is only good on fine tuning. So these are 80, 40 and 15 meter bands. On other bands, we need to think if we want to use and have W3DZZ as a more than 3 band multi-band antenna. So we need to think about the external antenna tuner. So in this case today I brought with me my mini automatic antenna tuner CGJ-100. There is a link in the description to this tuner, to my other videos where I review this tuner. And today just let's try to use this tuner to tune the W3DZZ antenna on the bands on which the antenna otherwise does not simply work. So let's start with the 30 meter band on which antenna is not even supposed to work. So I put it in the FM mode in order to produce the constant carrier, and the tuner is in the automatic regime. It means I just push PTT, put the signal into tuner, and it starts tuning automatically. All right, around 1.2, very good. Oscar Victor 1 Charlie Delta X-ray. Thanking for the call sign. 569. Name's Frank. 20 meter band, which is also not working as it is without the tuner or with the inbuilt ICOM IC-7300 tuner. We are on the SSB range. Yeah, around 1.4. Let's see the SWR graph. Very nice. Another work band on which the antenna not supposed to work. Tune 1.4, around that. It's perfect. We have 17 meters, 12 meters. .12, 1.12, also very good SWR. And last but not least, the 10 meter band, which was not also working with without the tuner or with the inbuilt ICOM IC-7300 tuner. So let's try. Tune. Alright, 1.06 accordingly to the tuner. So it means with the external antenna tuner, this or any other tuner which works with a wider range of the impedances, antenna W3DZZ could be used as a successful, probably the only antenna in your shack, your first antenna of your shack, as the only multi-band antenna. So that's it for today, guys. I like this antenna W3DZZ because due to its simplicity, due to ability of torrid cores to make a trap. The traps are not really very lossy nowadays, maybe 1 dB or something. So I think it's really worthwhile to try the W3DZZ, a legendary, a little bit forgotten, but still a unique antenna in its design. So thanks for watching. If you like what I'm doing, please consider subscribing. Otherwise, leave your comments in the comment section. Which antennas do you like? Have you been trying W3DZZ during your ham radio career? It's always very interesting to know and to share the knowledge on my channel. Thanks for watching again. 73, good luck. This is Linus, Lima Yankee 2 Hotel.